Good morning. Welcome to this video. Today I'm looking at Futu Holdings. This just came under the radar, so I just thought I'd take a look at the chart. It's a technology-driven financial services company. It's headquartered in Hong Kong. It's listed onto the Nasdaq, and its core business is U.S. stocks, Hong Kong stocks, Chinese stocks, wealth management services, etc. They have a um, product in the US, I believe, a trading app called Mumu, and essentially they're currently experiencing like massive expansion across like Singapore, Australia, and Japan, and we're seeing like a big rise in the price as a result of that. So I decided to do a chart, and the idea of this chart is pretty much to be looking for a a potential level to come in time to accumulate a position. So I'm going to start back here. So this is in 2021. So this was the high in 2021, $200. And we put that high in. We had this drop, as you can see. I just want to point out that that drop was over time, over the period of a month, was about 50%. The reason why I'm pointing that out to you is just to plant the seed that of what's possible, because a lot of people might get stuck in the idea of, we're never going to come back down here, and that's basically my motivation is to show you why on a technical level we do return back to certain areas in the chart. So here we had this drop of 50%. We did come back up for which turned out to be, in hindsight, the lower high, and then we got the bigger move right down. Now we did come down to this number here, this 0.886, and what that means essentially is we've done an 88% retrace from this high to this low. So we gave back 88% of those gains. We took it all back. We then went into this area of like consolidation, and we were still printing, as you can see, this low here at $22. We were still printing higher lows. Okay, and market structure, you can see, was despite after this, healthy. You can see we're higher highs and higher lows after that. It wasn't until, of course, 2024 we get that big breakout, and here we are today, back up at that $200 level. So that is totally possible to replicate this behavior again. If we look up to the present price action, I'm just going to skip the time frame up to a weekly chart. You can see that we've had, a few bearish weeks here with those red candles, and we're currently sitting at 174. I've already used the TPO chart, and we have single prints at 135. So I do present to you the possibility that, in light of us having a continuation pullback or retracement, that we are going to come and test perhaps this 382 first of all. And when we do test that 382, we may well get a bounce off of that 382 and find additional strength to go in and put in a new all-time high. So I don't rule that out. But at the same time, we could also come down into that 382, get a bounce and then come back down to test it and get a rejection off of that 382. And in which case, we are probably most likely going to find the 618, which is down at like $108. But that doesn't necessarily mean the dip would be over, but you would get a bounce here. So if we go back now to what happened previously, when we came into that 618, like here, for example, on the 16th of August, if we measure from that wick, okay, up to here, you can see that was a 37% bounce. So that could ultimately just be the same here, where, you come down into that 618 and you get a 30% bounce, for example. So that would take us back up here, and that would just put in another lower high before you get that bigger move back down to that 786 or potentially that 886 level. So this video essentially is just to highlight the possibility of this happening. And if we look at the past history of the chart, that also makes things more probable when we've already done it before. So you want the right circumstances for that to take place, which is obviously, a bearish turn in the market, etc., etc. Set some alerts down there at those lows and basically play the patience game. But the other thing that I would like to just throw on this chart very quickly is the anchored VWAP. And if I'd done that, for example, right from this 2020 level, that comes in right in alignment with that 786 at $83. So bearing in mind this whole move did, we did start to break up from April from around about that $70-80 mark. So, yep, this is looking like a really nice trade if you can get an entry down here when price does eventually gravitate to that specific region. That's all this chart is. That's all I've got to say about this chart. Sorry. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Safe trading, and I will look forward to doing the next video for you very soon.